that y'all are about to go crazy about. Y'all give it up right now for Leisha Hailey, Kate Moennig, come on now, and Arlan Hamilton.
Woo! Real Cupid.
Wow. Does that happen when you walk down the street?
You know, it gets old. It gets old.
Depending
Yeah,
on the neighborhood.
no, it doesn't.
Depending on the neighborhood, I bet it does. Oh my gosh. So first of all, everyone, can you believe who is in front of us right now? You all are considered, in my household, like television royalty.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I want to talk about that. Just, you know.
Royalty?
Royalty, yeah.
Royalty!
Queen, if you want to. I'll call you king.
Queen!
Queen and king?
So hot.
Do you want to be the queen?
No, you can be the queen.
Okay.
You're queenie. Okay.
Okay.
It's to say that the L word is iconic is an understatement, I think, especially in this with this group. And yeah, right? Am I? Just thinking about, is this year like what anniversary is this year for that?
It was 20.
50? No, I think it's 20?
Yeah, it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
The 20th, and you all, that means your friendship is about that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
How did you all meet each other? What's the quick story of that?
Well, we met auditioning for the role of Shane.
Yeah.
We were the only two people in the room, and
We were the only two people testing, period.
Yeah.
There was no one else.
testing is the last stage of
Correct.
the audition process, right?
Yeah. So we met in a cavernous, echoey hallway on the 14th floor of the Showtime building on Wilshire Boulevard.
Oh,
We did.
And we didn't talk to each other.
No, we said hi. That's not true.
We did a little like, hey.
Well, because it's not like, I don't want to call it competitive, but you do, you want the role, right? You want the job. And I didn't think I was going to get it when I saw you.
I didn't think I was going to get it when I saw you.
Right.
I don't want to get, we have a book that's coming out on June 3rd.
Woo!
This story, I don't want to give away, I feel like I'm giving away the...
No, it's like 3 seconds of a chapter. You're fine.
Okay. I'm sensitive to it. I don't want to...
You have a book, and I think we should really talk about this.
Yeah, because we can't believe it.
I mean, you're authors now.
Thank you.
Yes, you're authors. Would you consider like being an actress, like authors, like your new career? Is that?
Listen, I'm not going to say no
I'm not going to say no.
follow-up, are you?
I would never say no to a follow-up.
Here's the thing. We were in shock that we wrote a book, but the process was really incredible, and I never thought I'd find myself doing this, but like talking about your life, because Kate and I go into everything. I grew up in a very small town in Nebraska in the 70s, and Kate grew up in Philly in the 80s, right?
Early 80s.
Okay,
yeah.
well, almost the 70s. You're just.
I was born in 77, so it was in the 80s.
But we're both really queer kids. We both look like boys. We both got mistaken for boys our entire childhoods, and it was a different time, and it was really interesting to write about that because it shaped us.
But it also tapped into a bunch of memories that neither of us had thought about for many, many, many years, and it was exhilarating but also terrifying to write about. It took a minute to let guards down in certain portions of your life to say, well, I guess I should discuss this, because what's the point if we don't?
Oh, because when we first started, I was like, there were good times and there were bad times.
It was the best. She was the queen of summarizing.
Yeah, and I was like, that's not going to cut it. I can really
it's
talk
not
about
gonna
these
do it.
things.
And then there were certain things where I thought, oh, I won't discuss it. And then you go through edits when you're doing a book, and through each edit you realize maybe this should be touched on, maybe this should be discussed. And
what was the thinking behind that? What allowed you to be
vulnerable enough to share that?
Because I think it's a shared experience. I think being queer is something we can all, like, you know, our stories are kind of similar. No matter if you're, you know, 15 years old today or, you know, my age. And it's like, it's kind of the same, you know? It is getting better, but there's still a lot that we share in common. So I think it's like you kind of have to be vulnerable and let go and just tell your story, so someone else is like, oh, okay, good. I understand that, and now I feel better about what I'm going through.
But also our editor was very adamant that we dig deeper too. She wasn't going to let us slide with certain things. She was pushing and nudging in the right way throughout the entire process.
Because I'll tell you, neither one of us ever thought when we were young that we were going to be on like an iconic, you know, groundbreaking show like we were. So we were as surprised as everyone was to see it on television. We were filming it and going,
we were like, this is fun. This is really fun. Do you think people would watch it if it went on air? Do you think people would like it? I hope we get to work together again, because we're having so, like, the best time together. It would be so sad for this to end so soon. I hope people would watch it. I mean, these were the genuine thoughts that were going through our heads. So the fact that we're sitting here today, 20 years later, having this conversation is blowing our minds collectively. Yeah.
Well, what it makes me think about is, I can't remember, I'm probably 23, but you know, you're kind of still younger, kind of in your lesbianism. And I was watching the L Word, and I just felt like, oh, there are people out there, fabulous people. I need to get to LA, stat. Where are these people? But there were these people who existed, and now with your book, with reruns, with your book, with the latest version of the L Word, you get to have more people coming to their own, regardless of their age. There are people in their 40s, 50s, 60s who are able to discover things about themselves because of that work.
It's just, I think it's universal, and we've discussed within the book that you'll all hopefully be reading in June. Woo! So please pre-order. I just have to say that. A lot of the themes I think we touch on are universal. I think we hope a lot of people will relate, because it's coming from a very honest, pure place, whether it was insecurity or loss or love or whatever it was in our lives that we're touching on during this period that we're discussing.
Yeah. And also for both of us, just being sort of normal people in this situation, shooting the L Word was so wild the whole time, because, you know, in the 10 years between the L Word ending and the reboot, you know, we were like normal people again. And we talk about it. You know, we had financial struggles, and it's like people have a perception of you, you know, like we've been called icons, and you're like,
and that's a lovely thing to hear.
Let me walk you through last week.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
exactly.
I think it's important to kind of bring it down a notch as well, because that show is or was aspirational, but they're characters, you know, and we're real people.
True. I know Michael B. Jordan did an interview with Oprah, and he talks about, he said the money doesn't catch up to the fame.
It does not.
Oh,
yeah.
Lord.
In most
cases.
Yeah. That's I think that's part of the reason. One of the reasons why we were excited to start a podcast was.
Yes.
Woo! Thanks.
Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Pants.
But was to take some ownership over that exact thing, because
Yes.
it's tough out there.
Why is ownership so important?
Well, Kate and I, you know, should we talk about it? It's in the book, but
go ahead.
Well, Kate and I were the lowest paid actors on the show, and we were like the face, sort of the face of the show.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We don't have a gripe. It's because we were so grateful to be on it. But there is something about owning what your value, and I can speak for myself, and also I think I can speak for you. But we have.
You can speak for me on
that. It took, you know, I'm 53, and I can finally say I have value. but I don't think along the way I necessarily believed it. And I don't know if that's because, listen, my house, my mom and my dad, my home was a very safe space for the queer community. All their best friends were gay, and I grew up in this like amazing, loving home. But the second I stepped outside my door, I saw the way these wonderful like family members in my mind, in my family's mind, were treated. You know, like everyone had to have an extra bedroom to pretend that that wasn't their girlfriend, or it was their roommate, or, you know, my high school drama teacher had his husband of 50 years now, 53 years, is his husband had to not come to the musicals because Jay could lose his job. I mean, so I saw how society was treating queer people, but it was a mixed message for me because my family was like, we love these people, but so not everybody does.
There's something I think you probably don't want to say or can't say, but I'm going to say it. The two queer actors were being paid less.
That's the irony of the whole thing. And, you know, bear in mind that in 2002, Leisha was the one out gay actor on the show. But from that moment, from 2002 onward, yeah, that's a fact.
But
we're not coming at it from a place of ingratitude or poking the bear. It's just a fact, and
it's more like a tale to tell today for people who are going into certain situations.
Exactly.
Correct.
And
yes.
I mean, there's a wealth. The word that was coming to mind earlier when you were talking about your experience with the L word in this podcast, in the book, it's like it's a wealth of a life. I mean, it's just what a rich life you've had and will continue to. And then there's some things that it's wonderful that you can help be the voice about. I think that's great.
Yeah, and that's what it speaks to is valuing yourself. I mean, if there's anyone to really blame, it's us. It's about standing up and saying, I'm actually worth something. And I know you know it.
Woo!
But I need to know it actually to be able to stand up and say, I'm not going to do it otherwise, you know. And I know that now. And listen, we're very expensive after this. No, and I don't think this is the end.
Our rate just went up.
No, okay. But I don't think this is the end of Kate and I even being on television together.
Hey.
I know that for sure.
Never say never.
But back to what you were asking, the ownership, the reason we started the podcast was because we both knew it. We've always had each other's backs. Kate and I have always
we realized that we had to work as a team, and I think that's something we learned, you know, early on, is that these battles are fought together, not separately. So Leisha and I very quickly join hands, and we're like, let's go after this together, and it helps to a certain extent. It's good to have a teammate. And, you know, in terms of this podcast, you know, many years later, we realized, okay, as Leisha was saying, we know our value, and let's have ownership of something that no one else has control over. There's pride in that. There's a level of authenticity in that you don't necessarily get when there's 1,000 other people pecking away and giving their notes and giving their ideas. It all kind of comes together.
And when you were, Kate, you were mentioning pre-orders before.
Pre-orders.
I've had a couple of books come out, and so I understand that pre-order thing.
Pre-orders.
What most people don't realize, and I hope it's still the same, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but all of the pre-orders count towards the first week of sales when it comes to different lists and getting, you know, different people involved and seeing that momentum, and then your publisher sees that. And they say, oh wow, you know, we're going to put even more resources behind this. So it's not the end all, right? But it is pretty important. And your book comes out. Let's say the name of it again and the date that it comes out.
Our book is called So Gay For You. And it comes out June 3rd, 2025ve. Yes.
You can pre-order it now.
You can pre-order it now. We actually didn't know about this pre-order thing. It's very important.
Yeah.
We thought, June 3rd, that's when everyone buys it. And they're like, no, it's about now. It's about getting that momentum. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, it's a really important, because like publishing is tough, and you kind of just spill your guts out onto the paper, and And then, you know, it's about people picking it up. But I'll tell you this, it's so rewarding. You're going to have like the best time with this.
Thank you. And we're also going to go on a book tour.
Yeah, we're going to go on a book tour and do the tour / a live show sort of collaboration. Am I correct in saying that?
You are correct.
Speaking out of turn?
No, you're not.
Good job. You were just looking at me.
No, I was like fascinated that you knew it all. I was like, look at her go.
Oh, you were proud of? Oh, you were proud of me. Okay. I've been getting a lot of data.
Nailed it.
The information. Thank you.
So Pants took off. I mean, first of all, you got together and thought about the podcast Pants, and you said, let's just do a couple episodes and see what happens. Was that it? Like, did you have any plans for it, or was it pretty organic?
We did. I mean, it definitely stemmed out of the pandemic, as well as the book stemmed out of a strike. You couldn't work or write anything, so we were like, but we can write a book. I mean, it's sort of a survival mechanism that came out of from a lot of things
that we had no control over. So in terms of the podcast and then the book, at least there was control over that.
Yeah, and that's,
so the timing was actually a blessing in a way. In 2020, that gave way to experiment with this idea, and we didn't know how long it would last. We thought, well, maybe 8 episodes, we'll see how it goes, and we got into a rhythm and realized, oh, maybe there is an audience for this, and we started to enjoy it because we got to give the audience something that they've always wanted that they weren't getting otherwise. So that was.
And you mean our characters on the show weren't interacting as much as we would have liked? So we're like, well, they could see us this way, you know?
Yeah. And so we were able to sort of fill that void, and we were enjoying it. And the more we were doing it, the more I think we were getting more comfortable with it, like anything. And here we are 4 years later.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He listens to Pants.
Woo!
Watches because now you're on video. You're on YouTube.
Right. And
what was that decision about? Because that's amazing.
That was hard. I won't lie.
Well,
that was hard.
I had to really convince Kate we needed to buy cameras, but it's this, you know, when you own something, you want to kind of keep expanding on that idea. So now we do video. We
do video.
The
thing with video is that once you do video, you can't go back. So once you commit, you really have to commit, because you can't say, hey, here's the thing, I'm going to take it away in 6 months because I don't like my haircut. You really have to commit. So
I love your haircut.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, you might not like it in 6 months, so we'll see.
That's true.
But it's just that sort of thing where, yeah, you have to expand, but also make the choice and stick with it and not backtrack.
But we got a space. We now know that no one can take that away from us. Because, you know, if you rent a space or you work with a company that might not be great, or, you know, this way we're just trying to lock in what we have. And
it's so smart. I mean, I'm super bullish on YouTube. I mean, it's just a huge platform for the work that I do. Did you all like build the space too?
Yeah.
I know you all are like handy AF. Did you all build this studio?
Internally, like we had a little space and we just kind of made it work.
Yeah, we knocked down a wall and painted it.
Talk to me about this.
It was like a pony wall.
It was a wall.
Really
It had
making
studs.
it
It was hard. It wasn't easy.
Well, this is one of my favorite things about y'all is that you will just put on the overalls and like knock out walls and get in a truck and go around the land and
yeah,
we do like
why
that
not?
shit.
Yeah, I mean,
there's something satisfying in saying I did that and I didn't have to call a guy to come and fix it.
Yeah.
Woo!
Instead of calling a guy, we are the guy, right?
Yeah, I can do it.
Would y'all hate me if I talked about the hair on L Word?
No,
because you were
please
talking
go.
about
Get it.
hair.
Let's do it. Let's get into it.
Okay, I won't use the word iconic, but you all had like hair was an important thing on that show, like fashion and hair and all of that, and almost like Jennifer Aniston and Friends. It would like people would go and like take pictures of you all and say, "Give us this cut." Were you all seeing that when it was happening?
I mean, I think Kate, you can really
I felt
speak
really
to this.
bad for everyone. And I'll say this, it's not in the book or anything, but I'll elaborate. That haircut was just an amalgamation of a lot of bad ideas. And one bad idea wasn't able to grow out before the next bad idea came to pass. And so what you saw was just a collective of bad ideas on my head.
Yeah.
and somehow that got popular, and I felt quite bad.
But we would do conventions, like L-word conventions, and meet with the fans, and there was always a lineup for pictures, and Kate's side, it's just funny, everyone looked like Shane, and then over on my side, it was like a bunch of brightly colored
Smurfs
unicorns,
and rainbow and Care Bears lining up.
Then we would almost not we would like each other's hairdo, and then we'd come back next season and have like a version of each.
Well, we realized that we always had some version of the same hairstyle, and this was not planned at all. It just happened, and we would have shorter or longer versions of the same hairstyle. Yes, and this wasn't planned. And then Leisha would get upset. She's like, "You have my haircut," and I'm like, "I did not take your haircut."
You
did too. In second season, you got so upset because you both had short hair.
Maybe season 2, I think it was. I had like a pixie that I was really proud of.
Yeah.
I should try that again. I'm too old, but I should try that.
No, you're
You're allowed to cut your hair.
I know.
You're always.
You know what? I'm gonna after this. I'm gonna go.
Let's go.
Woo!
Maybe someone will be open. Let's go right uptown.
Are there any hairdressers in the audience?
You're fine. So you see, it's a topic that people think of. I think sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I think about y'all's hair from the show.
So
Like a
Yeah.
nightmare?
That's super creepy to
Yeah.
say.
Season 2 hair. Season 2 was. Season 2 hair.
But you were roommates
Season 2 hair was
when you were on
not.
the show?
Yeah.
Oh
Were there
yeah.
like a few of you?
Here's the thing. And again, we talk about it in the book. Pre-order
Yeah, don't
available.
give too much away.
We lived Mia Kirshner, who played Jenny, and I lived together first season. Greatest person
Didn't
ever.
she
Mia
act her
Kirshner.
ass off in that character?
Woo!
She acted her
There
ass
is,
off.
Yeah.
let me tell you something.
Sure did.
The acting chops on that girl are like otherworldly. She's incredible. We love her so much.
Go, Jenny!
Jenny could have been so boring. She could have been like milk toast.
Yeah.
She
You
could
know
have
what I
just
mean?
been America's sweetheart, and Mia
and she
brought
was
her
not.
chops, and
She's
brought,
like, oh no.
Yeah, Mia brought her chops
Yeah.
and her chutzpah and said, "I'm
Yeah.
going to make this
Yeah.
really feel like me in three-dimensional,
It
whether
takes
you
some-
like it or not."
Yeah.
And respect to her, she committed.
No, I think a lot of people, I mean, as a gay and as a watcher, I think a lot of people had their opinions about, the character, or what happened to the character, or whatever. But I don't think anybody ever said she wasn't a great actress. I mean, she's phenomenal.
No, but I think there was at the time, I think there was a conflation between actor and character.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, again, it's in the book, but Mia got...
You're giving a sneak peek of it, so you
I'm
gotta
giving you sneak peeks. Mia got some slack at times where people would conflate her with Jenny, and it became difficult.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Justice for me.
So the three of you all were roommates?
We were roommates.
Oh,
Yes.
right. And then Kate moved in because as though we weren't getting enough of each other at work all day. Like, let's eat together after work and then let's go home and live together.
Well, we
And
were the
let's-
lowest paid on the show. I can't afford my own rent. Let's move in.
Wow.
There was a little of that. But
Yeah.
we loved each other so much. So, a lot of what you see on screen was actually happening at home, and the writers were picking up on that. And those are some of the most beloved scenes or, episodes are the ones
They
that
were
sort of
certainly
mimicked our real
influenced.
lives.
I used to wonder if some of that was improv, because some of that,
A lot of it was
Absolutely,
improv,
yes.
but
there's so much chemistry.
a lot of it was improv, and a lot of it was inspired by things that were happening off camera.
Like the gay brownies, that was one of my favorites. Like the
We
gay...
fully had
Y'all
that
remember
party.
that gay
Read-
brownies?
Yes.
Yes.
Read the book.
Oh,
Sweet
there's
little
some
figs.
interesting stuff in that. Okay,
Little figs.
cool. And then your friendship, like I've been able to see you all because thank you for having me on your show and
Thank
like,
you
just
for joining
us.
being around.
You kidding?
I've been able to see you all interact with each other, and it's like 100% this all the time. What do you think I mean, I understand like the book is going to say this, right? But you came from the same kind of childhoods, but what do you think, like what's that compliment to each other? Is one of you more grounded? Is one of you more like what's that dynamic that you think has
I'm gonna
lasted
say-
20 years?
I'm going to say we're polar opposites.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We are.
Yeah.
Like, we are. Our birthdays even signify that. We are complete polar
Yeah, Channy
opposites.
she can. Like,
Where's Channing? She did our charts.
Oh yeah.
She went, yeah.
But we are polar opposites, and I think because of that, we balance each other out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but I think we're really good friends to each other too. I think we've always learned that, you know, friendships take as much work as like a love relationship does, and we've really just honed in on that and respected each other and helped each other through a lot of difficult things and like wonderful, amazing, beautiful times together. And it's just at this point, you know, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's pretty locked in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's fully locked.
And what is next? So 2025 is book tour.
Yeah, and we have a lot of other stuff. But
we're New York!
But yeah, we're
Can't talk about it.
excited.
We're superstitious, so we're gonna
Okay.
keep
Yeah,
it
but we're
quiet.
always
You're
working
really
on
good
things.
because you kept this book under wraps. I mean, you've been
We-
working on it for
thank
so
you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm really proud of Leisha for keeping her mouth
Listen,
shut. I'm so
I'm
proud.
telling you,
there
that
were
was
moments
so-
during pants where I thought, shit, she's gonna spill it. Thankfully, you know, there was someone to edit if needs be, but I thought you would
This is
spill
what
it.
I share with Alice. I
was
had a
so
really
proud.
hard time with a
I was
secret.
so
and
proud of you. I was so
thank
proud.
you.
I really was.
But no, we're working on a lot of stuff, and everything will make sense when you learn about it because it all has something to do with what you've already seen, and it's just getting more solidified and more exciting for us.
Much like the chart, everything is connected.
The chart.
Is that IP like secured? Because I feel like somebody could.
I don't have it, but I'm sure someone does.
I don't own it.
That's it. Maybe Helena has, or
Helena,
Helena.
yeah.
Helena has.
I don't think she has it either. I know you
Didn't
wish
she
she
lose
did,
her
but-
money though? I think she lost all her money.
No, but that's an interesting thing. Maybe somebody should bring back the chart. That'd be-
Yeah.
There you go, Arlan.
Yeah.
Next project.
Get on it.
That's true. Do we have? Is there something that we're supposed?
Oh yeah, we have a special
Yeah.
surprise guest.
Well, yeah.
Well, because we just found out backstage. That's
Yeah.
why this is happening. But one of the most common questions we get on pants
Is where do you meet people? And we
how
don't
do I
know.
meet- Yeah.
We genuinely don't
But
know.
we have someone who might know it. Mal, you want to let us know the answer?
So one of our favorite people, Mal, who we fully geeked out on backstage. Hello. Hi, Lesbians Who Tech. Can I sandwich you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
We were so excited when we saw you backstage.
Fully geeked out.
They went
We
ham.
were big fans of your show.
So Mal, if you were on pants, let's pretend this is a faux pants. We want you as a guest, but
Can I touch your knee?
let's prep
You-
now in front of a bunch of
absolutely.
people we don't know. What would be your advice to someone who's looking to wonder where they can meet someone? Like, what's the best way to socialize and date?
I've heard the kids say that it goes down in the DMs, so I think that's...
Does it really?
What? On Instagram?
That's what I've heard.
But doesn't that get old?
That's such a weak
Like,
answer. That's it. It's you have to go on your Instagrams and constantly look at the DMs.
I'm feeling attacked by the both of you.
I'm sorry. I'm shocked.
Yeah,
I
we're
thought you
so-
were going to tell me like it's DMs. It's not going out anymore. It's
no,
fully
I can't.
online.
I really can't tell you where to meet them, but I can tell you maybe how to sustain it. And I would say number one rule would be, do not watch The Ultimatum together because that might make or break you. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not inspiring.
No.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. I would say watch the whole first 8 seasons of The L Word. I would say do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say get your financial advice from Arlan.
Oh, good one. Yes.
Maybe investing advice. Yeah.
Investing. Yes.
Yeah,
Very
that'll keep the
important.
relationship together. And I would say maybe don't, no shade to you, but maybe don't do the things that Shane did. I would know that I would do that.
Don't. I was always waiting for an episode where Shane has an STD and it never happened. I was like, let's get real.
Yeah.
Let's get real. Was it implied? I don't
Maybe-
recall
maybe
it was
it was
ever
implied.
implied.
I would have had
understand
the
that we were in the
doctor.
land of like aspirational fantasy, so maybe that's why it didn't happen. But I was waiting every episode.
You could have gone to Bettantina's gynecologist.
What was
She
her
would have
name?
had a
Oh, I love the
cream.
good doctor. She was
so
great.
nice.
Oh, I loved her with a beautiful voice.
Yeah.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
But listen, so it's not about meeting people in person anymore? That's over?
I mean, I think you still can. I think, especially at this lesbian conference, there's a lot of beautiful people
Oh,
here.
are there, I'm sure there's a lot of
Also, do some business deals. Business deals first, please. That part.
business first.
Yeah. There's a lot of
And then business.
Alice Generation Q type folks in the crowd. So,
What is just houses?
did nobody watch Generation Q?
Yes.
That's me shooting my shot.
The suits were good.
Suits were great.
The suits were great.
The Adidas suit. The
wetsuit?
Adidas suit. Your Adidas suit.
I sold that on the real. I should have kept that. I
Oh.
know. That was dumb.
What
It's
advice
okay.
would you give us?
It was so good.
For what?
Dating. For what? For dating?
Do you know who
No.
we are? We're so
Out
like
of touch
with
with-
people and out of touch and at home.
What?
I know, it's
I know.
disappointing. I'm sorry to say.
I'm sorry to kill your
they're wised
fantasy
up.
of anything, but wow, that's a
But
fact.
I really, human connection, I think, is like absolutely.
I
like,
think
the
bars are
thing.
important. I'm very, very, very sad to hear that so many bars that we would frequent, like all the lesbian bars, all the queer-owned bars, are starting to become obsolete. I think that's
Oh.
absolutely gutting because
Why don't we go and
Should we
look
open
at,
a bar?
Yeah, let's
That's
look
such
at
a
some
prosperous
I'm
business
having
model.
that conversation. Yeah, I'm having that conversation elsewhere. So why don't we
You
talk
are?
about that?
Okay.
Yeah, because it's the planet. It's a place to go.
Right, you want a place to go.
Yeah, and I think
It's so important.
We took it. We took it for granted. That's the one thing we had was like lesbian.
but they all
bars.
closed down.
Yeah, most of them
Or
are.
most of
But
them
let's just
have.
bring him back. Would you
Woo!
want? You know what we could do? We could have half of it could be a sober side.
Great.
Yes, that would be amazing.
Should we call it Sober Sally's?
Sober. What?
No,
Half-
'cause then we have to
half could be
drink.
alcohol, the other half
Right.
could be sober.
I know what side I'm going to be on.
And then
But then-
whatever you are, go back and forth.
Yeah.
Can I be a dancer?
Yes. What do you mean? What
You
are
want to be
you
a
gonna do?
dancer? Not really, but maybe. Whatever you want, Mel.
Okay.
Whatever you want. Just let us know.
You know what I think is really funny? Every time I look at that clock, it goes up. They just keep adding time.
Okay, we should let
I'm
everyone
sorry, we
else
should
go
let
here.
everyone go 'cause it's hot.
Anyway, we love you so much.
Thank you
Like,
so much for the support for
Yeah,
all the
seriously.
years. It really does mean so much, honestly. Thank you for sitting out here and getting sunburned. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
See you next time. Leisha and Kate.
Love you!
And Arlan, thank you.
We love you, Leisha! Love you, Kate! Oh my goodness.